Well, isn't the topic of this debate is basically just which way is better? Is that what we're saying? Is that the topic?
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah.
personally, when I look at the way the Western society is going in general, I mean, I've always had this opinion. Even when I was doing it, I was kind of like, even though it felt good, it was kind of like, yeah, it's like, you're kind of like, what am I doing at the same time?
Yeah,
I didn't
I was
feel
gonna.
empty, but it was just kind of like that moment when you're done and you're like, okay, how do I get out of here? How does she get out of here? Ah, this is awkward, this type of stuff. So even then,
Absolutely.
there was like a slight twinge that, like, maybe something's slightly off, where there's a point where you're kind of like something inside you. You can't tell me you haven't experienced it, Mr. Locario. That little twinge that you have every once in a while, even if it's not every woman, maybe you feel it every 10th woman. That's that part of you inside that's like, yeah, maybe this isn't there. You can't tell me it's not there.
Were you talking about like a feeling of this isn't the right woman to
Post
deal with?
post nut clarity.
Yeah,
No, I don't. So
there'll
the
be a
thing is,
remedy.
I
There
have
always is.
clarity before the nut. So meaning that I only deal with women on my terms at all times. So a woman doesn't get my dick unless she's been cooperating with me exactly how I want her to do it. And so that's what I'm saying. Where like I'm creating the structure to allow women to come in, and they have to basically go down the path I'm leading them. Now, I'm not forcing them to do this, and this is a choice they're making based on them being interested in what I want to do. Right. But they're only interested in what I want to do because what I want to do is what they want to do. So, for example, let's take sex out of it. Let's say I like to skydive. I say I'm only going to talk to women, date women who skydive. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to meet a woman and she's going to skydive with me, but she's skydiving with me because she also likes skydiving, or
Maybe.
she wants to try skydiving because she's interested in being around me and entering my world, right? So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that but what I'm saying is I chose that for me. I didn't have someone tell me to choose that. I didn't go to anything to say I need to check in with this
It's not
to
really
make
what I'm saying.
sure.
It doesn't make.
I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah, but
check
that's
a
not what I was
Yeah.
statistic.
saying.
I don't need
Yep.
to talk to nobody to come up with the conclusions of making decisions on my own to go in the direction I want to go in. That's all I'm
What
saying.
the women that hung around Charles Manson, right? Like they probably liked his company, and
Mm,
he got them into doing some things,
mm.
you know. And was that a good thing for them because they all landed in prison? I'd say no, it wasn't a good thing.
You saying that was that a good thing for those women to follow him?
Yeah, to follow him
Well,
because
that's
he
what I'm
was
saying. They're grown ass women. They made a choice.
But was
So
it? It doesn't. I didn't say that they can't. I'm not eliminating free choice. What I'm saying,
mm.
we're talking about, is it better? Which way is better? So was it better for those women to follow a man who led them astray?
Well, I
And
think the
they,
very
Yes,
definition of
because
wisdom in itself is learning from those that have already been there to done it, and
mm,
so you can navigate and what is going to work and not work, so that you can avoid hopefully making the same mistakes. I think
mm,
that what for us, at least on the religious sides of things, whether it be Islam, Christianity, whatever, we have, for us, we have the Bible,
mm.
the basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's
Right.
that's really
And,
what that is. It's the instruction path. Now we again, God gave us all free will. We can decide whether we are going to follow it or ignore it. And again, that's the beauty about having free will, is that
mm,
we can make choices for ourselves. And for many years, me and Rob made the choice to not live by these teachings. Later on, we kind of sat there and going, well, shoot, man, these hardships are coming. Hardships come regardless whether you are walking in faith or not.
mm,
But regardless, we're going, hey, there's something else here that is not being fulfilled in our lives. And it finally is when we decide to walk closer to God and do what God's word actually teaches. But
mm,
ultimately, it was still a decision, our own personal choice to follow that or not follow it. So, I think that goes back to being able to say, sure, Mr. Lucario, I think every single person can think for themselves and should think for
mm,
themselves. I would never sit here and tell anybody, we and Rob tell people all the time, don't listen to what we have to say.
mm.
Hear it, but at the end of the day, go see for yourself. Go
Right.
research it for yourself and go apply it accordingly for yourself. Because at the end of the day, we do believe in free will. We live in a country that promotes freedom of speech, freedom of
Mm,
choice, whatnot. So again, I think that at the end of the day, when we're having the discussion on a social norm, where again we're going back to just, hey, is this going to be good for you? And at the end of the day, we might feel like, hey, you're all going to face judgment, whether you believe it or not. But guess what? I'm not God. I'm not here to judge anybody, so you're going to live your life. I'm going to live mine. And hopefully it's
Mm,
sooner or later, we'll be all reclining at the, head table, up in heaven. But, if you're not there, well, at least I can say, well, I tried.
mm,
Father, I tried to deliver the message. Some people listened, some people didn't. But again, I will never bring, me personally anyway, I will never bring hatred or any kind of ill will towards any person simply for thinking differently than I do. And again, I think we're all on the same page. We're sitting there going, every single man on this panel here has been has done the things that you're doing currently, and some of
mm.
us have just decided to eventually say, okay, we need to evolve and move past that, whether it be from because of God's word or because we just wasn't working for us in life or whatever it might be. But I mean, I do appreciate again being able to be on here and at least have the discussions for other viewers to be able to make up their own minds after listening to everybody.
Right.
At the
But
end of the
also
day,
too, what Rob said too, when he's talking about better, um, the thing is better is subjective because I'm sure y'all had this where people were like, well, isn't monogamy better? What, why are these women following you guys and having multiple, like, I'm sure y'all heard that at some point where somebody
Absolutely.
telling y'all monogamy is better, right?
Sure.
And I'm not monogamous, so I already know I've heard this type of stuff before, but that's what I'm saying where whatever is quote unquote better or the best is the individual's choice and perspective. That's basically my whole argument is that the problem is that whatever we deem as better is always going to be seen in our own eyes as the truth, but the truth is our truth. It's inside us. That's why I have a slogan say the truth is inside you because that's the
Let me say one
reality
thing.
that you're living from. Do you see what
No,
I'm saying?
the difference is though, the difference is, with all due respect, is we've done what you've done and you haven't done what we've done. So you can't say it's better because you haven't done what we've done.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I would never do what y'all do because I would never
But you,
I
so you
would
don't
never
know
live
which
my
way's better.
life based on another person's thoughts.
Regardless
That's what I'm saying.
regardless about the Bible, we've done what you've done. You haven't lived
So
the
what
way
so
that
what
we've
have y'all
done.
done that I haven't done?
You haven't lived in a long-term commitment. That doesn't sound like with any.
Yes, I have. I was married for 10 years in a non-monogamous relationship.
And what happened there?
Yeah, so we were together. Well, we were together for 15 years total. The entire situation, we were non-monogamous, and I've been that way since I'm 45. I've been that way since I was like 26. So yeah, so I was in that non-monogamous marriage for the 10 years. So we were together 15 years total. 5 years we were just together, and then for the other 10 years we were married.
Okay, so I would say the thing that we've done that you haven't done is live with a woman who's only committed to us, while simultaneously trying to make, um, you know,
But what do you mean by only committed to you?
well, she's not having my wife is not having sex with anyone but me.
How do you know?
I know. I'm 100% sure of that.
Okay.
You know, so.
All right. I mean, hey, I don't, I, can,
So
I,
you
don't,
haven't, I mean, so you haven't done that, right? So
no, but that's what I'm saying. I haven't done it because I wouldn't want to do it. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm
but
saying
you don't
is
know which
that
way's better if you haven't done it, though.
no, no,
You
no,
can't
no,
say
no. I
it's
know. That's
better.
what I'm saying. I've had women who I wasn't even in a like they weren't even my girlfriends. These are women that I just was fucking, and they would come to me and they would be like, "Oh, I only want to do you." And I like for example, there was a girl I used to have sex with. I literally had to hook her up with my friend so that she would stop bothering me. I'd be like, listen, I don't have time for you like this. Go talk to my boy. You understand? But she only wanted to fuck with me. So that's what I'm saying, where I don't like the idea of multiple women all up under me. That's what I'm trying to say.
I get it, but you can't. But what I'm saying is, you can't say which way's better if you haven't done it. So you could say, well, look, I don't want to eat vegetables. I only like chocolate.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I've had those situations.
And I'm saying to you, listen, I've eaten a lot of chocolate, and now I'm eating vegetables and meat, and I'm telling you this way's better. You say no, chocolate's better. You can't actually say it because you haven't done it.
No, but
You
I've
think
done
it's
it.
better.
I just told you. That's what I'm saying. I've told you. I put okay.
You said you
what
don't
I'm
want
saying.
to. You haven't done it because you don't want to.
Yes. So if I know I don't want to, that means because I was in a situation where it could have been done. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying
Like-
you couldn't have been done. A child has the opportunity to eat meat and vegetables, and if they only choose to eat chocolate, and they're like, I don't want to eat meat and vegetables, and you're telling them, no, but you kind of need to. It's better for you long term, and you're like, so you can't actually say it's better.
No, okay,
you
so let me
haven't
ask
done
you
it.
this question. Let me ask you this question. Why? What is the thing about the woman not being with other guys Like, what's the underlying point?
Well, paternity for one.
Okay,
Right.
so if she wouldn't get pregnant, you would be cool with her fucking with other dudes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most guys shoot sperm. That's
No, I'm just
fertilizer.
saying if she wasn't gonna get
No, I
pregnant.
wouldn't. No, I think it's degeneracy. I think it's evil. Even
Okay, and that's
even
my
before,
point. So
even
that's
Can
my
before I
I
Rob.
became a,
That's
direct in a
exactly my
different way?
point.
even before I became
Rob.
a Christian, even
Rob,
before I
that's
became a
it.
Christian, I knew it was wrong. Somewhere deep
Can I
inside
be
me,
different? Can I be directed in a different way?
yeah,
That's
sure.
just, I'm going to tell you why. It's my woman and I don't share. I pay the insurance on my car. I pay for the gas in it. You don't drive it. It's the same thing with my woman. That's my woman. I don't share my woman. Absolutely not.
Okay, and that's
Share
what
my
and
house.
that's my point.
I pay the rent or I paid for its construction. Nobody lives in here but me. Nobody uses my woman but me. That's mine.
Okay,
It's mine.
and this is and that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in order for you to say that you haven't done it, I would have to be doing it under the same premise you're doing it. Does that make
No,
sense? So
no,
meaning he said
you
this
can
is
do it
my
for others.
woman. And you said that you think it's degenerate and all this other stuff. I don't have the same mentality. So therefore, I'm not even in the same room with you with the thought of why you're doing what you're doing.
I don't
You see
care
what I'm
why you
saying?
do it. You haven't done it, so you can't say it's better because you haven't done it. You
No,
don't
but
even know what to compare it
but
against.
this is what I'm saying. That's why I asked you what's your underlying reason. Because what I'm
It
saying
doesn't
is,
matter. It doesn't matter if you cannot like eating vegetables, and if you eat them anyway, you're still good. So you don't have it. You can't even compare one against the other because you haven't done it. You can't say which way is
so let me
better.
ask you a question. Have you had sex with a man?
No,
So is having sex with a woman better than having sex with a man?
I can't say.
But how can you say if you haven't done it?
I won't. I'm not saying.
That's my point.
I'm not
He said-
saying.
That's my
He said,
point.
no,
Right
he said
there, man.
he can't say
I'm
it
not-
'cause he's
I'm
never
not
done it.
saying.
No, but that's my point. My point.
Approach.
This is what I'm saying. You've already told me that having sex with the woman is better than having sex with the man.
I
No,
never
but
did.
that's
No,
why
he's saying
I'm gonna take exception with your chat here. Your chat's a bunch of idiots. Hey, chat, I'm gonna come to your house and just take your car. Okay? I mean, you're insecure and you're controlling if you won't let me just come up and use your car, my niggas, and I'm not paying for the gas, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna be an Israeli, and I'm just gonna come stay in your house. I'm gonna take over the bedroom. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make you sleep in the basement, my niggas. And if you say anything against it, you're insecure and controlling. How dare you be so insecure and controlling about your car? This is public car. Thank you very much. I don't care if you bought it. I don't care if you pay for the insurance. I don't care how you like to maintain it. Maybe I want to put my feet up on the dash. Maybe I want to spit over on the seat or whatever else.
No, I think they brought me saying that you're looking at the woman like property. I think that's what they're saying.
She's my property and I'm hers. We both have rights upon one another.
And check this out. Check this out. I'm not even mad at you saying that. But that's my entire point. What I'm saying, what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that that's my entire point. What I'm saying is that your perspective of how you see it is going to be different than how I see it. So because we already have a different perspective, that also creates the reasoning behind why we would do something. So this is why I asked Rob about if he's been with a dude who's bisexual, who has never been with a guy, right? He might just say, oh, well, I just haven't had the chance to do it, but I would. And then you could say, well, listen, well, you haven't done it, so therefore, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is the fact that Rob is straight, he doesn't have the desire to do it. So therefore, you can't say, well, you haven't done what I did, because the reason why he hasn't done what he did, because Rob don't want to do it.
Hey,
But I wouldn't
Mr.
debate that.
Locario, if you want to debate a bisexual guy, we could just invite John Amphy Lifestyle.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I wouldn't debate. I wouldn't debate that having sex with a woman is having sex better than having sex with a man because I haven't done it. Which is the point that I'm making to you: is you're trying to debate which way's better, and I'm saying we've done what you've done. You haven't done what we've done.
No,
so
but this is what I'm saying. I would never do what you're doing. That's my point.
That's fine, but you can't say it's better because you haven't done it.
No, but this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in order for us to be on the same page, for you to say I haven't done what you've done, we would also have to be on the same page of the reasoning why you're doing it.
It doesn't matter why. Look, if a
Yes,
child,
if that's the case, you should just.
I might love vegetables. I might really love salads, and they taste great to me, and I just enjoy salads. And my child doesn't like salads, but he just eats the salads because I told him to. It doesn't matter why he did it. At the end of the day, eating salads is going to make you feel better than eating chocolate. And if the kid's never ate a salad and he says, no, chocolate is better. No, because you haven't done it, so you don't know.
But in order for me to say something is better or worse, I would have to have an interest in the thing. Yes?
No.
Yes, you do.
Just that you've done it. Just that you've done it.
So you would eat shit to see if I say it's shit better than vegetables. You're gonna eat the shit to try it?
It doesn't matter why I go to the gym as long as I go. I don't want to work out all the time. I just go because I know it's better for me. Some people love working out. It doesn't matter. We still feel the same way at the end of the day.
So Rob, this is what I'm saying. I would agree with you if I said, you know what, I think it's degenerate for women to be fucking around with a bunch of dudes. And you said, well, listen, you haven't done what I've done because I've been with women and they've only had sex with me and fucked with me. And we're on the same page about it being degenerate. Then I would agree with you. I'm like, yes, I haven't done what you've done, because what happens is that when I get off this call, I should be saying, oh, let me try what Rob said to see, then I can go see if it's better or not. What I'm saying is, if I have no interest in seeing if it's better or not, because I'm already not with it, then what I'm saying is that you're saying, well, you haven't done what we've done to see if it's better. What I'm saying is, in my own reality, it will never be better because I don't even see that as a viable thing to do. So already I don't see it's better. That's what I'm trying to say.
Have you ever done something that worked out a little differently than you thought?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it possible that you know, if you were to try this, that it could somehow be a little different than you thought it would be?
Right, but I would have to have an interest in it. That's what I'm saying. No. Things that I've tried, I've had an interest. No. That's what I'm saying. Have an interest. What I'm saying is, if I haven't tried something and somebody presenting something to me, hey, you should try this. The reason why I even take action is because I have some form of interest to try that thing they presented. If I have no interest in it, I'm not going to do it.
I can understand where you're coming from. I did not have an interest in polygyny / biblical marriage at all. I mean, and again, I think you and I, Mr. Locario, are very much on the same page, because again, I didn't have a problem sharing my women. I didn't have a problem, and I'm the oddball here when it comes to, my fellow men who practice biblical polygyny, because again, I'm still in that mindset where I'm going, I personally, myself in the flesh, don't have a problem with it. I don't see the issue, whatever. However, I do know what the convictions that God puts on my heart. But that didn't happen. If you asked me 4 or 5 years ago, if I had an interest in it, I would have said, heck no, I'm never going to be, committed to 1, 2, 3 women. I'm going to continue to live my life the way I want to live my life, doing what I want to do, because that's what interests me. And again, I profess to be a believer, so I'm going to be forgiven anyway. That was what my mindset was. So I didn't think, nor had any desire, like you, to even try any of this. However, sooner or later, I just kept getting smacked in the face, with God's truth. And eventually it got me to a point where I'm like, okay, I better start listening. I better start, actually trying to apply, what he's telling me. And again, it goes back to personal choice. But again, I do hear where you're coming from, and I agree with a good majority of what you're saying, because again, I did live that life, and still in my fleshly desires, in my mind, can relate to that. It's ultimately at the end of the day going, what am I going to do more? Live by my own desires, or do what the Most High is calling me to do? And fortunately enough, I will say, I reached a point in my life where I would rather listen, to my God, my Messiah, than my own selfish desires. That's simple as that.
Right, I feel you on that, and the thing is, all I'm trying to explain is that there are certain things, like, because what you said you got into this because you was like, I didn't think about doing this, and it was presented, and then I got into it, right? That means that there was a sliver, a little piece of something that was like, you know what, that interests me, which is why you took the step. What I'm saying is, there are things that people do that you are just not interested in. That's like me talking to a murderer, and they say, well, Locario, how do you know murdering people isn't better than keeping them alive? Like, you've never murdered. I'm like, yeah, I would never do that. Like, there's no way I'm going to be interested in murdering anyone. So yes, I've that's not gonna happen. So I can't say, oh, well, you're like, well, you can't say that it's better or worse. I already know for me it's not going to be better. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that's why I asked y'all what's the reasoning behind it. So what I'm saying is, if the reasoning behind what y'all said aligned with what I said, then I would agree agree with Rob. I'd be like, yeah, well, you're absolutely right. I haven't done what you've done. What I'm saying is I never want to do what you've done. That's what I'm trying to say.
But the problem is your position allows for the murderer to also think that his behavior is correct. That's the problem.
Who's to say that his stuff is incorrect? Who's to say that?
Well, maybe the victim or their family. I don't know.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand.
How can we have a conversation though?
Yeah, that's impossible.
No, but that's my entire point. My entire point is that everything is subjective in its perspective.
What you're saying is,
that's my entire point.
Do you, regardless of who it hurts, is what you're saying? Because if a murderer, no, a murderer. That's a great point because you're like, who's to say a murder's wrong? I'm like, well, if let's say they kill a man and he's a single dad and he's got sole custody, the mother died of cancer, and the baby is at home waiting to be fed, and you murdered him. Well, maybe it was right for the murderer. Like that's what you're saying. There's
what I'm saying is that people are going to murder because there's people who don't murder. It's yin and yang. Right. You're always going to have the opposite.
I get it, but it doesn't mean that murder's right.
No, I'm not saying that I agree with the murder. I'm saying that if a person is murdering, they are murdering because they are the murderer. God created that person to do that.
Okay,
do you understand what I'm saying?
A guy has sex with a young girl first, and he busts a nut in her, and she gets AIDS and she dies. Is it wrong? Was that wrong for him to do that, or was that?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. In my opinion, that's wrong. What I'm saying is, in his opinion, he's right. That's why he did it. And what I'm saying is that he was created to do that. That's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't matter what his opinion is. It doesn't matter what his opinion is. It matters who was actually right. You're saying
that's what I'm saying. You keep saying who's right. Everyone's right and everyone's wrong. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No. But see, I agree with you. The man was created to be a murderer. But then the creator also made the rule, at least in Islam, that the murderer should be executed.
Yeah.
Hey, let it happen. I'm not agreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that. All I'm saying is that what's supposed to happen is going to happen.
The point of the conversation.
But there are rules, and there needs to be.
The topic of the conversation was which way is better. So at the end of the day, if you think that it's better to potentially get STDs and potentially have fatherless homes, because again, mistakes happen. There's no guarantees, and then yeah, maybe Locario's way is
no. Better is subjective. I didn't say that it's better to get STDs and fatherless homes. I said, in my opinion, having sex because you like the pleasure of it is better than not having sex because a book told you not to do it. That's what I'm saying.
No one's talking about not having sex.
No, but this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you guys are saying women shouldn't have this amount of sex, and if they do, this happens and that happens and that happens, and then you're using the stats to back it up, and you're attaching those things. So what I'm saying is that within those conversations, you're saying one thing is better than the other. So you're saying it's better for women to not have sex, yes, or not have a bunch of sex.
No, we were trying to establish. You said, well, why is their sexual marketplace value drop with the higher body count? And I said, well, it's well documented that the more sexual partners they have, the higher the divorce rate. So for me personally, I don't want to marry a woman that I feel like is going to step out on me down the road. Now, look, everything in life.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Everything in life is a game of odds. You can say, well, there's no guarantee.
Hold on. How does a woman having sex with a guy she met before you equate to her stepping out on you on a relationship?
Well, I just told you that the women with the highest partners have the highest divorce rate. I'm not talking about me necessarily personally because I have really
but I'm just saying that talking point because I've heard that talking point in the red pill. How is a woman?
This is like that. What you're saying is, look, okay, you're saying, look, a car with 500,000 miles can break down too, right? What's the difference if you get a new car or if you get a car with 500,000 miles? Because the car with a brand new cars break down too. Life is a game of odds. Yes, a new car could be a lemon. There's a possibility, but I'm going to pick a new car over a car with 500,000 miles because I know that a car with 500,000 miles break down a lot more frequently.
But see, the problem with those analogies when y'all talk about the car to talk about the women is that you drive a car, right? Yeah. So the car is not autonomous. The car can't choose you back. The car. So what I'm saying is that when a woman has sex with you, she's choosing to have sex with you. When a woman is being cooperative and pleasant, she's choosing those things. And the opposite is true. When a woman is being disrespectful, belligerent, she's choosing to do those things. And so what I'm saying is, how is a woman being promiscuous or having sex and all this other stuff before she met you equate to a guy being cheated on in the relationship when that woman is with him? That's what I'm saying.
Well, this is what we know. We know that. Let me just tell you this one thing. We know that, and then we can pull up the study, and you can look at it and believe it's factual or not. But women with 10 or more sex partners have the highest divorce rates. Now, the divorce rate is 50%. 80% of those divorces are filed by women. So that means, 4 out of 5 of our already sky high divorce rates filed by women. And if you're telling me,
and that's based just on sex.
If you're telling me that the women with the highest amount of sex partners are the ones predominantly in that 4 out of 5, then yes, it does lower their value because you were one of the 10 motherfuckers that slept with her.
So wait, so her divorcing and that not working out is based on sex. Like there was nothing else in the situation that caused that.
Are you saying there's no correlation? Because that's what the study was: 10 or more sex partners, highest divorce rates.
Right. So what I'm saying is that the also basically in the study, everything else was perfect. Everything else was great. They had a good relationship. The guy was a leader, all of that. But the only thing was that these women had sex with all these partners in the past. That was the reason why they broke up.
I'm sure it was skewed all over the place. I'm sure the people that were slept with one partner versus the people that slept with 10 or more, it was all over.
Our argument has come full circle because I repeat, since we've come back to this, and I'll repeat my initial point, how can we assign value to something that's readily available to all?
100%.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
I mean,
scarcity.
If a woman is available to any man that comes along because she desires it, whether she desires it or whatever else, for whatever reason she does it, socialization, pleasure, just whatever, how is she high value or has equal value to something that is scarce? Something that is readily available doesn't have,
So which women are not readily available?
Sleeping with 100 people is highly available.
No. What I'm saying is, which woman is not readily available to all men?
Oh no, there's a lot of them that's not readily available to all
like
men.
Who? Like where they at? Are they on Jupiter? Like where?
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is,
who are not going to be available to you or me simply because they're not interested in us.
Okay, but they're going to be interested in other guys, right? Yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they sleep with other guys. All
right,
guys
but they can and they would when they find the guys they're sexually attracted to. Them. So what I'm saying, okay, like for example, even the women you're in relationships with, right? What I'm saying is that every woman, including mine, including your women, are available to other men. Because you can't do anything to stop her from being available to other guys.
Attraction is not availability. I'm attracted to a lot of women. I'm quite sure I could sleep with them, but that doesn't mean I'm available to them. I assign value to myself also. What do you do that deserves that I allow you to enter into my life as a man?
Right. Well, let me ask you this question.
Not all women are available to me.
That's a great.
So let me ask you this question. So now, hold on. With that being said, do men usually approach and pursue women, or is it the other way around?
No, men usually approach.
Right. So if men are usually, it's more likely that
we're talking about
they're not available to the other women, whereas the women are going to be available to the men because the men are. So what I'm saying is that if any of our women are out about in the real world, any number of men can approach them and interact with them, which means any number of those men they could be attracted to, which means any of those men could interact with them to make shit happen.
Sexual availability. This is not the same.
No, but what I'm saying is if she's sexually attracted to him, then he has a chance to have sex with her. Yes.
Let me say one thing, because this is Mr. Locario. You talked about women. You like, I choose who gets my dick, and they have to come into basically my frame and act the way that I want. Because why? Because you have a high opinion of yourself. You know your worth, right? So I think we're saying the same thing. So a woman should know her worth. Okay, she shouldn't just let any old schmo hit it. Okay, but a woman with a high body count obviously has lower standards because she is letting, and it sounds like if she found 200 guys and that only a small percentage of the guys are like yourself, the men that you claim to be, well, how the hell did you meet all these guys that were these exceptional men? Because statistically, it's impossible. Which is why, going back to what Craig said, is what scarcity is what produces value. $4,000 an ounce for gold. You're not going to pay $4,000 for an empty beer can because you could find a beer can in a trash can right outside of any convenience store.
So
I'm appalled.
And you would be a
by
fool, and you would be a fool to do so.
so wait, so let me hold on. So let me ask this. So what's a high body count to y'all? Give me an example of a high body count. Like what's the number?
I guess it depends on their age, really. I mean,
It's like a 30-year-old woman. What's the high body count?
I don't know, but I'm reading the comments here, and the amount of men who are just so comfortable with being a cuckold. My woman can go out; she can step out. You just
Wait, what's a cuckold?
That you accept that your woman sleeps with other men.
No. That's not what a cuckold is.
well, I think you raised another man's child, isn't it?
Right, a cuckold
yeah,
is
right,
the
right,
original
Where
definition
does
of
it start?
cuckold. The original
Where does it
definition of
start?
cuckold is a man whose wife is basically cheating on him. She gets pregnant and he's taking care of the kid. That's the original definition of cuckold. The
With this
updated
behavior,
version of
that's where it's gonna
cuckold,
start at. It's impossible for it to lead to anything else.
right? But the updated version of cuckold is a guy where it's kind of like a fetish thing where he gets turned on by watching his women have sex with other men and also being submissive in the act. That's what an actual cuckold is. Because if a cuckold is just a guy getting sex or his woman getting sex, then I could, basically hook up with any guy's girlfriend and now he's a cuckold. That's not how it works.
No, you know what? And because there's a modernization and a progression of terms, they sort of go through this morphology. I actually hold that a cuckold is somebody who knows that he's sleeping with a woman who's in a relationship or committed relationship. That means that the guy, he's actually a victim. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. If he knows, he's a cuckold. But if he doesn't know, then he's a victim. But the guy who's sleeping with a woman who absolutely knows she has a partner, without question, he's a cuckold. He's screwing occupied pussy. That you're willingly doing something that you know makes you a cuckold.
Occupied pussy. I'm gonna use that. That's hilarious.
It's like
occupied pussy. Yeah, I made that one up. But
No,
I'm
gonna go to ladies, be like, "Hey, miss, is your pussy occupied right now?" I like that. That's just funny as hell.
I find that odd. I find it really odd. I mean, I guess this is just a moral and ethical thing that we're not going to be able to bridge, including with the chat. That it's just like, I personally find that since even before I was Muslim, I found a problem with it, I do, whether these guys call it insecurity, whatever else, I do. I have this particular pride where I what's mine is what's mine, and I've claimed it. Whether it's territory, people, whatever else, maybe I was born to be a conqueror and these guys were born to be just, get whatever you can get whenever you can get it. I don't know.
So wait, what makes a woman yours though? I'm curious about that because
everything that you described and exclusivity.
Okay.
When I teach, I actually teach Muslim guys. And I'm like, what a woman has to have is pro-cooperative attributes. Pro-cooperative means she's on your program. She's following you. She can't come into your life, make your life hell, be somebody else's girl. She's going to start acting like the woman that she was with her ex, act like the woman she was with the last boyfriend or hookup, whatever else. That's not your woman. She's doing the things that you want and need her to do. I call that on my channel pro-cooperative attributes. She has to be your woman. She's being what you want her to be and sometimes what you need her to be, because sometimes you need her to just follow your program, even though she doesn't understand it, because you know what you're doing. Maybe she doesn't.
Right. And this is the thing. The fact that she's doing that is because she finds benefit in doing those things, right? Because it benefits her to be
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Right. No, so she's doing that because it benefits her to do that, to be your woman, to be in your world and to be into your situation, right? So what I'm saying is, and this is what I try to tell a lot of guys is, a woman doesn't do anything technically for you. She does it for herself. So meaning you are benefiting off her following your lead because following your lead benefits her.
Well, I think that can be said. The truth can be said to any man who follows a higher power. Period. Because I mean, the Bible says you can't serve two masters.
Right. So
for men, we can't serve two gods. We're in submission to Him the same way that women are to be in submission to their husbands, and they can't have multiple men because they can't serve two masters. So that's what
I'm saying. So that's my point. So what I'm saying is that because she's doing it to benefit her, that means another man can come into your situation and she sees the other man benefiting her, which is why she's going to have sex with other guy. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is,
principally, I don't have a problem with her doing what I want her to do because it benefits her. But again, this comes back to conditions also, exclusivity. And that's one of my conditions of her being mine. That's
Right.
part of what I need her to be. Now, if she wants to, and I don't have a problem if my woman wants to go and have sex with another guy, she just can't be my woman.
Absolutely.
No, and I feel you on that. And but this is the
We
distinction.
part ways, and you go and do what you want to do, but you are no longer my woman. You
Right.
don't
And I agree with you 100%. But this is the distinction. Well, most guys, when you say those things, most guys think she's doing that because you told her. Or you're making her. No, she's doing it because it benefits her. So what I'm saying is that because the woman only does what benefits her, if another man was to come into the situation, she would fuck with him if she wanted to, if she feels it will benefit her. That's what I'm saying. Whenever a woman is only having sex with you, it's not because of you, it's because it benefits her. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't disagree. And I don't think we're going to convince Mr. Locario. This is the one thing I'd like to say.
I don't either.
is that look, on the one side, this is where Maverick and I stand. Is on the one side you have, this feminized church, and they're like, men are wrong for even wanting variety. You should not want variety. You should be ashamed of yourself for anything but one woman. And then the guys on the red pill side, which I'm not saying you are, Mr. Locario, but they say,
I'm definitely not red pill.
They're like, look, spin plates, bang as many chicks as you can, have your fun, whatever. There's no, and some of them will even claim, that the woman be exclusive. Where Maverick and I are, is we're in the middle, and we're saying, listen, it's okay for men to want variety, but it has to be done righteously, which means you have to marry the women, protect and provide for them for life. What I'm saying, if men were to do that, it would clean up a lot of the messes that we see in the world, the mistakes that happen with fathers' homes or STDs, and just I think it goes along with human nature because men have a desire for variety, and women, to be honest, most women don't want a man to share them. They want to know that pussy's mine, you're mine, and they like that. They want to be claimed. That's just the way that they're wired. And I believe it's a picture. It's a picture of God and man. Jesus is the bride or the husband, and we're the bride of Christ. It says he can love as many of us as he wants, but we can have no other gods before him. Now, look, we can go all day long and say what's better, this way is better, that way is better. But at the end of the day, I believe that God set all this in motion. I believe that biblical polygyny, that biblical marriage that includes polygyny, is the missing piece to the puzzle. Because yes, men get to express their desire for variety, but women get what they want too because they get a covering, they get a husband, protect and provide for them and children and all that. And to me, that's the better way because I know that I'm doing my part to make the world a little bit better of a place. So with that, I'll conclude. It was great to meet you guys.
I feel you now. This is cool. This is fun.
So Rob is just refraining from occupation.
I'm an occupy.